Picture this: Irving Kirsch, an American psychologist and researcher, dives into a sea of data to unearth the truth about antidepressants. Stirred by the knowledge that pharmaceutical companies were selectively publishing clinical trials, Kirsch decided to take matters into his own hands. He was determined to shine a light on the hidden, to bring forth the truth that lay buried in the shadows of unpublished FDA files. In 1998, he made waves with his first groundbreaking meta-analysis of antidepressants. His research group scrutinized the main antidepressants of the time, and the results were startling. These widely prescribed drugs, it seemed, did not pass the placebo test. They were no more effective than sugar pills in combating the symptoms of depression. Kirsch's initial research sent a shockwave through the medical community, prompting other researchers to examine his findings. The stage was set for a debate that would span decades and change our understanding of antidepressant efficacy. As the dust settled, independent researchers from around the globe began to replicate Kirsch's study. Not just one or two, but 3 to 4 groups of scientists from different corners of the world rolled up their sleeves and immersed themselves in the data. They conducted their own analyses, and much like Kirsch, they found that the main antidepressants of their time did not outperform placebos. Yes, you heard it right, placebos, sugar pills essentially. This replication of Kirsch's findings was a significant milestone. It wasn't just one group questioning the efficacy of antidepressants anymore, but a chorus of scientific voices. The impact was profound, shaking the very foundation of how we perceive the effectiveness of antidepressants. It was a pivotal moment that challenged the status quo and sparked a global debate. Kirsch's findings were not an anomaly, but echoed by independent researchers worldwide. Fast forward to 2018, a new meta-analysis was published in The Lancet, claiming a different narrative. This colossal study, the largest of its kind, examined all known antidepressants and boldly declared that every single one passed the placebo test. However, it was quick to note that their effectiveness was modest at best. This was a stark contrast to Irving Kirsch's initial findings, which suggested that antidepressants didn't outperform placebos. Suddenly, the medical community was presented with 2 conflicting narratives. On one hand, we had Kirsch's research, backed by several independent replications, suggesting that antidepressants were no better than sugar pills. On the other hand, we had the Lancet study, a behemoth in its own right, proposing that all antidepressants do work, albeit modestly. This discrepancy provoked a whirlwind of discussions and debates. The Lancet study stirred the pot once again, raising more questions about the true effectiveness of antidepressants. Just when it seemed the debate was settling, a trio of Nordic Cochrane researchers published a critique in the British Medical Journal in 2019. They took a critical look at the Lancet's meta-analysis and found crucial methodological flaws. The researchers argued that the study was not as conclusive as it seemed. They pointed out that the previous study had a significant bias in the selection of trials included and discrepancies in the data reported. They further criticized the Lancet's meta-analysis for not adequately addressing the placebo effect. They argued that the modest efficacy of antidepressants shown in the study could be attributed to the placebo effect, rather than the drugs themselves. This critique by the Nordic Cochrane researchers concluded that the results of the Lancet's meta-analysis could not be taken into account. The researchers urged the medical community to exercise caution before accepting these results as definitive proof of the effectiveness of antidepressants. This critique brought us back to square one, with no definitive proof of antidepressants' effectiveness. So where does this leave us now in the debate on antidepressants' effectiveness? The discussion surrounding the efficacy of antidepressants is far from settled. The tug-of-war of findings and counter-findings has left us with an unsettling lack of consensus. When evaluating the effectiveness of these drugs, we must consider the full breadth of clinical trials, including those hidden away in FDA files. The initial work of Irving Kirsch, replicated by independent groups worldwide, suggested that antidepressants failed the placebo test. Then, a significant turn in 2018 claimed all antidepressants passed the test, albeit modestly. However, the critique from Nordic Cochrane researchers in 2019 dismantled this study, pointing out crucial methodological flaws. The bottom line? there's still no conclusive evidence that currently available antidepressants are effective in combating depression symptoms. We're left with a pressing need for further research, comprehensive and transparent, to finally settle this debate. With the jury still out on antidepressants, we can only hope that future research will provide the answers we seek.